reason why I feel that it took me so long, because I refused to give up on my core values, right? I could have given up on my core values, one of them, and probably had a shorter path to success. And number one, success is relative at the end of the day. It's a journey, it's not an end. So from the success perspective, success for every individual is different, and my
Absolutely.
success doesn't necessarily means your success, and motivations are different. And also the other thing which I do is and then again, a lot of it is reflection of my mom, is that it's not, money is not success, or getting a position is not success. It's you as an individual define a goal, and you reach that, and that is a success. Goal could be anything small to big. And as I said, for me, I had a goal in high school to get good marks, right? I failed miserably in ninth grade. I failed miserably in 11th grade. Failed in the sense that never below the passing mark, but right on the border, right?
Yes.
And from there, and from there to getting, and when I saw my CBSE marks, it was a just big validation for me that, yeah, I thought I could do it, I had in me, and I did that, right? And
Wonderful.
so same thing is there, right? So again, coming back to that culture aspect and the values, and I think so a lot of them does come from your family, your parents, and that's where it came. So again, going in school, I was like timid, I was shy. A lot of people when I talk to today, they can't even believe that I was afraid, and my legs will shiver when I was in school, standing in front of 40 people, right? If you put me in a podium in our auditorium, right, I will sweat like that, right? And that's who I was, right? Even all the way in the college. But when I came to US in 97, 98, by that time, that hunger had developed in me. And
Okay.
at that time, and there is a very strong principle which you probably know, and I didn't know, is that growth mindset, right?
Right.
So there is a good book called Growth Mindset by one of the very accomplished author, and that
Mm.
was a transformational book for me, along with Stephen Covey's Seven Habits and Dale Carnegie's How to Influence and all those things. And it's funny enough that, again, until college, I hated reading.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when did you start taking to reading? I,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I never read, because I grew up in a joint family, and we had, remember my cousin,
Mm.
my best friend, my buddy Amit. We grew up together. We were like 6 or 7 in the same house. So as a result, I didn't have to. At least how I thought. Like, I didn't have to rely on books. I will just have fun and play. So I would never read. Reading was not my choice or anything of that sort. But what happened was, so again, that was my life, that was my journey, happy go lucky thing, get into college, had some, uh, I was again blessed to, grow up in a joint family with, family businesses and everything else. So my
Okay.
desire was to, go there. And again, in India, growing up in India, entrepreneurship is business. Entrepreneurship is more of a valley thing, and now it's glamorized all over the world. For me, it was like, yeah, I just wanted to do business. What
Mm.
business, which area, nothing, right? I had no ideas. And one of the learnings which my grandfather told me was that, Nikhil, whenever you want to do a business, and he was a self-made man, his fundamentals was that if you want to do a business, even if it is like opening a small shop, you should
Mm.
do all aspects of the work, so that you understand the pain. So for instance, like, we had a, my dad was a cloth merchant, he had a cloth shop.
Mm.
So if you want to be owner of a shop, you should clean the desk, you should take out the work, you should do the labor and all those things, so that you can empathize with people, and then you understand, right? It's very important. So that was, and I don't even remember when that was instilled in my head. That was, probably a bonus of being, growing up in a joint family with a business background. And then, so when I was going through my career, right, and that's when I kind of held close to my arm, because by 93, 94, I was like, yeah, I want to do something. Of course, I was having a lot of fun in Bangalore. Bangalore is used to be a party place. I'm sure it's
Yes.
bigger party place now. And and tried my first venture in Bangalore in
Okay.
1993. So that
Oh,
is
okay.
how long that is how long I've been trying, right? So and that's why I said it was like a overnight success with 25 years of failure. I was trying to resell a stuff. Uh, it was a digital converter to Delhi because there was arbitrage and all. And I found out there were some gaps in that. So that was my first venture. Second venture was I wanted to open a small, I still remember, NIIT
Oh,
franchise
all right.
at my home. And it was
Hmm.
like, it would have been like, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs rupees, a thing on my garage or on my roof at home.
Hmm.
But,
Hmm.
and I tried to get these things and I got that. It was like for 22, they said minimum age is 22. I was 20, and I was able to convince them that you give me this franchisee. They were just opening for kids, and I says why I'm well suited, and I got the offer. And then I looked into my eyes, into the mirror. I talk a lot to mirror. And I was like,
Lovely.
do I really want to do this, and how big is that opportunity, right, in the big scheme of things. And I've been always blessed to have advisor. I always seek advisor, I always seek mentors. and
Hmm.
uh, as I was talking to people, they said, it's not a bad idea. It will be your own business, but how big it will be. So then I realized quickly that it's not going to be big. So I let it go. But long story short, right, that these were the ventures, and that was, I already always had this entrepreneurial mindset or desires, if you will. But the hunger kind of increased more and more and more towards like 96, 97. And that's when I'm like, I want to do something, whether it's hardware distribution, reselling. In fact, software back then was the last thing I could think
Okay.
of.
Yeah,
Because as
because
I said, like
I think it's been a journey of confronting your fear from, shivering about computer science to avoiding it completely to trying a franchisee center, ditching it, and then saying that, yeah, it's been a journey of confronting your fear. Please.
so that is exactly, you are right. So no, every time, in fact, no kidding. And what happened was every time I'll get a rejection. So and I'll come to that point in a minute. I realized that what are my gaps, and once by 96, 97, when I came to US, right? So 97, I ended up in US. That's again a different long story. But once I came to US, I never wanted to, stay in US. I wanted to go back, do some business. In 98, I wanted to do MBA in US, and, realize that, hey, time have changed, tables have turned. And, I didn't have that kind of financial luxury at that time to, do an MBA. And
Hmm.
I says like, okay, you have to adapt, right? And you have to put your dreams on the side, and you have to, basically uh, make the best out of it, right? So I am a firm believer of finding an opportunity in a calamity. And I'm like an over optimist. And again, a lot of this credit again goes back to my mom, that whenever there's an adversity, how do you make the most out of it? And I came to US, and I had a made a good friend here. He took me to half price bookstore, right? So I couldn't afford a normal book itself. $20 book, I didn't want to buy it. And I bought a book called first this How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale
Carnegie.
Carnegie, right? It's a transformational book. It's a transformational book. And that's when I realized that, what, I have such big dreams, right? I have such big dreams, and I need to work hard to realize that. And I was way behind where I
Hmm.
was, because I wasn't like a prodigy, or, when I was 5, I knew I want to be Tendulkar or whatever of that sort, right? And so as a result, I said, reading will help me. And I started reading that book. That was pretty good. Then I joined Toastmasters, right?
Ah,
So
right.
so Toastmasters. These are all things everybody in the world has access to it. These are
Right.
like so easily available on the nook and the corner for, and very affordable, right?
Hmm.
And people have a lot of what you call it as mental blocks, right? But for me, like, hey, I couldn't do MBA at that time, and I was looking to gain knowledge, and I was hungry, right? That's where the hunger comes in. And I'm like, okay, I will go to Toastmasters. And I didn't know what Toastmasters was there. I was in Alcatel that time. And I says, okay, I need to improve my English. As you know, like I used to struggle in English in high school, in college, and if I have to be a global leader, I need to,
Yeah,
be better at things. I need to be better
absolutely.
at communication. I cannot shiver in people and motivate 1,000 people sitting on the podium. So I joined Toastmaster, and I highly encourage everybody to do that. I highly encourage people to read how to win and influence people. It's the title is very negative. It sounds very negative, like you have to win people, but it has a very good content. It's #1 bestseller for a reason. Then I read Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, right? And that's the genre I loved, right? That became my prized possession. In fact, now that I'm talking, I should have, because that's one thing. If my house get burned, these are the things which I want to carry with me, right? And that's what I carry from my home. And I started from a very small apartment here in US, 515 square feet. Since then, I'm carrying those books with me, and these are some of the things which I will always have a struggle with my wife, and she'll like, "Oh, Nikhil, why are you carrying this book? You have not read these books in 5 years." And I was like, "These are my comfort blanket, right? That
Yeah.
I know if I have to fall back and everybody falls, this is the place where I know where I'll get my knowledge, my strength, and that's where, and I go back and I still read them.